course, and today we're going to be talking about the organizational structure of Weekies United Corp. So I'm going to begin by explaining the relationship between the executive board as well as the 10 university chapters that we have within the organization. So first of all, the executive board is comprised of the most senior members of the organization, either referred to as the VP suite or the C-suite members. And these individuals have the most amount of knowledge regarding the company because they've been part of the organization for the longest, or they represent the highest level leadership at their respective university chapter. So in any case, though, obviously you guys are aware that we got 10 university chapters domestically. So I think it starts with NYU, Columbia, Cornell, Princeton, Johns Hopkins, Penn. We also have Harvard and then Stanford, UCLA, Berkeley within the West Coast. So across all the chapters, we got 10 chapters in total. And then obviously when you got these 10 chapters, you got individuals with different skill sets when we all pull them together. So this girl at NYU might be really good at artwork, for example. So she'll be joining the company design committee. And then this other girl from like Cornell might also be really good at, let's say, fashion work or let's say fiber optics design or whatever. So like she's experienced web designer. So she might be joining the company design committee also. So across all the university chapters, we're going to be collecting the best artists and we're going to be placing them into the company design committee so that the like-minded individuals who have similar skill sets can be working on the field that they're generally good at. So that's the point of the committees, in which we're going to be placing individuals based on their like most potent skill set. So let's say, for example, some guy is really good at talking, he's really good at pitching, then he might be, let's say, most available for joining the recruitment committee. So recruitment is super duper important on the basis that it's the feeder committee to all the different committees that we have, obviously. So it's a committee that like when they're interviewing someone, they have the acumen to like determine, hey, this guy's good at this guy's good at that. And placing people in the correct committee to make sure that the committees are all going to be productive and full of more A-game players who know what the fuck they're doing. And then we're going to be having, let's say, finance and management. Let's look at the more, let's say, economically focused schools. So let's say, for example, we got University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business. So kids who are like more economically oriented might also be placed into like, let's say, parts of the organization that are more focused on like finance. So let's say portfolio management, reaching out to corporate sponsors and building those customer relation management systems. Yeah. So that's going to be, individual committees are going to be pretty darn specific. And I have descriptions regarding individual committees on the master/cheat sheet. So you should also be able to access that as well at your own convenience. But most of this is like pretty obvious, as I said. So it's just pooling human capital and placing them into correct committee, making them all productive. And obviously within each committee, you're going to be having a command structure because they're mutually exclusive and completely exhaustive units, which means that like it's only when individual committees are doing well that the organization is going to be doing well as a whole as well, which is why it's very important that they're very all tightly and well organized. Okay, let me just scroll down. I have so many tabs open that like it's going to be lagging a little bit. And then yeah, I also wanted to introduce you guys to the concept of regional boards. So regional boards are basically extensions of your university chapters. So I'm going to be giving an example of Johns Hopkins University. So Johns Hopkins is currently located in Baltimore, Maryland, and then surrounding that Baltimore area is going to be a lot of different high school chapters. Baltimore is a very, let's say, private school-centric school district, for example. And then you will be having these 10 high school chapters that are basically going to be acting as extensions of your larger, let's say, chapter in this case. So this is going to be Regional Board 1, Baltimore, and then it helps out people at the university, basically. And it's the exact same parallel structure, except we're going to be taking away 2 committees for the high school chapters on the basis that company design deals with, let's say, trademarks as well as copyright. Whereas legal entities, you don't want to keep, let's say, minimally liable minors to be part of the legal entities committee, which like determines, let's say, the legal powers of the organization. However, this is also like limited for, let's say, university students on the basis that we do have company lawyers. So most likely a lot of the legal frameworks that we do is going to be instructional, also observational, and then you'll also be learning important skill sets down the line. But like you'll be taking more of a approach in the policy section of you'll be taking a more active role in regards to policy specific to the organization. Legal matters will be dealt with by the Hartford Group, which is the contracted legal partner that we have within the organization to save our asses in case someone ever dies or something happens bad. So yeah. That was both a joke, but also very serious and also highly possible. Any case, so then like when you're looking at the regional board, you're going to be having the same exact structure as this, a parallel structure. And this is something that I really wanted to emphasize. And I will be asking this in the case that, like I'm ever checking for understanding. So first of all, I want to make sure that like although the committees that are like under a regional board like categorization have the same names as the larger organizational structure that is like led by the executive board. However, these are like committees are specific to the university chapter. So it's just a convenient way to categorize individuals within the chapter, and the roles that each chapter must like let's say take on. Because at the larger level, the individual chapters are obviously not going to be responsible for legal entities, for example. And but fundraising is pretty obvious. Each chapter will be responsible for hosting 4 fundraisers a semester, and they don't necessarily need to be fundraisers. They're just events. So we can have, let's say, a social in which you're just like eating with your friends and your, let's say, teammates, and the company will sponsor that. So this could be at either the beginning or the end of the year, depending on like how you feel like most doing it. And then so end might be more better because you'll have like some new members that have joined the org since then as well. And then you'll obviously be having the fundraisers. So one example could be, let's say, a statewide, not a statewide necessarily, but for example, I'll give an example for New York. So New York, there could be a collaboration between New York University and Columbia in which they're hosting a talent show for the region like itself. And then the venue can be chosen from, let's say, New York University. And then we can have the regional board members, the high schools can each bring in, let's say, one participant as a one team. It could be an a cappella group, a dance group, whatever, etc. And that already like brings in, let's say, 10 contestants, and then the 2 universities could also bring in like some performers from their own universities, and boom, you have a talent show. So things like that. That's the benefit of having the regional boards, in that not only do these high schools individually have members, but they're also going to be bringing in people that wants to like come watch the show with them, and they're ultimately minors as well, so they're most likely also going to be accompanied by at least a couple like parental supervisors. So boom, you got yourself like an audience as well for a talent show. So that's the benefit that they bring in. They're both the money makers of the company, the manpower, as well as the extensions. And down the line, these kids will be graduating, and they'll also be joining the university chapters as well. So it becomes also a reliable source of recruitment and higher quality membership down the line. But yeah, that's just organizational structure. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.